starting it just
Okay.
now. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Micah, and welcome to today's YouTube Live. Today, we're talking about content strategy, specifically how brands create content that actually connects with their audience and drives engagement. I'm super excited because today I'm joined by my friend, Nalia Jacinto, who is a digital marketing strategist at Bodega Taqueria. She has real hands on experience creating and managing content for a fast growing brand. So, this is going to be very insightful. Thank you so much for being here, Nalia.
Of course.
I'm really excited to get into this. So, I'm just going to jump straight in with some questions. So, the first question is, can you walk us through what content strategy actually looks like from a day to day basis at a brand like Bodega?
Yeah, so a lot of it is honestly doing just market research to see what other similar brands are posting. So it involves a lot of just scrolling on your own time. And what I like to do is make different folders and add videos and different posts to the folders so that I can go back and look at it. And then from there we'll also build out a content calendar that has content that we create, but then also special, since it's a restaurant, we'll have our specials for our drinks and our food and events that we're throwing. So it kind of revolves around what's going on within the month, but we don't like to plan too far in advance just because things tend to change. So we'll have backup content too, just to make sure that if anything does change, we're able to have something to post at all times. And also, with content strategy, you have to be super quick with trends because there's new trends literally every day. And sometimes a trend only lasts for one day. So you have to get it out as fast as you can, which is part of the everlasting scrolling. So, yeah.
Hmm. Wow, that's actually really interesting, especially when you talked about the market research perspective of it. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that there's a big part of research that goes behind the videos that you see every day. It's not just little trends, it's actually numbers and analytics that go into it. So that's really interesting. The next question is, how do you decide what kind of content to post? You kind of talked about this, about how you see what other brands are doing, and from there you kind of know what exactly makes something on brand. Like what makes something on brand for Bodega versus just a trend.
Yeah, so I think it really just depends on one, what the trend is, but also how far you can.
Oh, we
Uh,
have a viewer.
we
Oh,
have
we have
five.
5 viewers. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to our digital 26 viewers. Welcome to our digital marketing live. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just
Yeah, I
didn't
literally,
expect.
I didn't even realize that there was 26 people watching this.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
what was I saying?
The question was, is there a certain like, oh wait, sorry, I skipped it. Is there a certain voice or vibe that Bodega typically sticks to with their videos? There's 37 people watching this. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
What
So we
makes something
really,
on brand,
yeah.
basically?
Okay, so we really like to stick to funny content that's relatable that you want to repost, that's about going out or getting drinks with your friends, and nothing too serious. We do cuss in our content. We it's kind of just all over the place, but I would call it controlled chaos because there is thought behind it, but if you're watching it from a viewer's perspective, I guess you wouldn't really expect that. um but yeah, really anything that is just funny and relatable. I don't even, when I'm posting stuff, it's kind of just, or thinking of things to post and I'm like, oh, this is funny. I'll go to my boss, and if she thinks it's funny, then we post it. And it's
Mhm.
kind of that simple. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I have noticed that Bodega is a little bit out of the box with their marketing, but honestly, I think that's what makes them unique in comparison to other restaurants around that can be deemed similar. So I think that's really cool. My next question is, what's one piece of content that you guys have had that has performed really well, and what do you think made it successful? If you need a second to think about it, that's completely fine. I know that's kind of a hard question to answer off the top of your head.
Yeah. So after, I don't know if it was the Grammys, is that for music?
Yes.
Yeah. So after the Grammys, when um when Bad Bunny went viral for like his clip of him like winning the Grammy, like, and there that like that video was going around, we were like, okay, let's make it was literally like within 24 hours, we are like, okay, this is going viral now. This is a trend now, so we're gonna post this tomorrow. And it was just a carousel of like me when my friend me when happy turned my friend asked me to go to happy hour and it turns into getting home at like 5 a.m.
Mhm.
And it was like five different like pictures. And I think we got like the engagement rate on it was super, super good. Like, I think benchmark, like, engagement rate for most Instagram posts is around 3 to 5%, and ours was at, like, 10% for this post, and it had,
Oh,
like,
wow.
over 1,000,000 views, and it had, like, I think, like, 60,000 shares. Like, it did super, super well, and that was, like, in my 2nd week of work, so I was like, "Okay, like,
Mhm.
I guess I know what I'm doing."
Yes, that's really cool to hear. And going off of that, I do feel like whenever you have situations like that, it is really important to think on your feet. How you guys said you realized you had the 24-hour turnaround and working in that short, quick, pressured on your feet kind of time scenario made it end up performing really well. So I think that's really cool. So kudos to you guys. On the flip side, have you ever had content that didn't perform the way that you had originally expected it to? And what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think more often than not, content is not going to do as well as you think it will. And it sucks when you really think something's going to do well and it either flops or it just does kind of mediocre. And like sometimes it's just the algorithm. It could have been a great post and it just didn't. Instagram didn't like it, TikTok didn't like it, and that's just how it is. Like sometimes there's really no reason behind it. Other times, like, maybe it was the wrong hashtags or maybe you didn't your copywriting wasn't great, and maybe you should have, like, tweaked the what's it called? Like, the first 3 seconds of the video to grab the viewer's attention. I think that's really important, and people don't realize, like, how
The
important
clickbait.
yeah, how
Got
important
it.
it is to, like, be able to grab someone's attention in the first couple seconds because like when I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'm scrolling so fast and like the only reason I'm stopping
Mhm.
is if a video it's either someone that I like watching or if it catches my attention like within the first second. So I think it kind of just depends on the video or the post, but yeah, I would say really just making the content really relatable and just grabbing the audience's attention is the most
Mhm.
important part.
I completely agree. That's really interesting. And you talked about a video doing well, quote unquote, doing well. So whenever you listen to that phrase doing well, are you measuring that by engagement, reach, conversions, or are you basing it off of something else?
Yeah, I would say obviously you can get a video that gets, I don't know, 100,000 views, but it doesn't get any comments or likes or anything. And I think we've moved on from it's kind of like when TikTok first started blowing up and like short form content became like this huge thing, like getting a lot of views was like good and like that's what mattered, and then we transitioned into like, okay, if you're getting a lot of views or you have a lot of followers but you're not getting comments, you're not getting shares, then it doesn't really mean anything. So I think having like a good like across the board sort of like average of likes, comments and shares and now even reposts is really what matters most, but it's also the hardest thing to sort of get.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine because a lot of people, me for example, I would consider myself a ghost kind of follower on platforms like TikTok. Like I like the video, but I will never comment on it. I'll never I rarely repost things like that. So trying to get that for your own content, I can see how that would be difficult. So just to wrap things up, for someone trying to break into digital marketing or content strategy, what skills or mindset do you think are most important right now in the market?
That's a really good question. I think it's a market that's definitely booming right now and it's growing so quickly that but at the same time there's millions of people who are looking for jobs in the marketing space, going to school for marketing. I think you really, as much as like people say this, like you really just have to like one put yourself out there and just go the extra mile. Like if you really do want a position or you do want a job and like find the hiring manager or find the person who might be your manager, and making sure you have like a good concrete portfolio that has both like creativity but also like strategic and analytics. That's really important. um, and I think just going getting like more unconventional about how you look for jobs. Like obviously we all know LinkedIn is like kind of where you start when you're looking for like any job really,
Mhm.
but going on Instagram and like searching like hiring, and going on TikTok and searching hiring, and like finding other ways, because there's so many jobs out there that like not everything's on LinkedIn. um
Right.
so I've had a lot of luck with like other job boards, like finding like niche little websites that have job postings, because sometimes there's really good stuff out there that, and there's really good companies to work for. They're just like may not have the money to like market their positions, or they might just not be as readily available as something that's posted on LinkedIn. So, yeah.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for sharing all of that. This was honestly super insightful and fun to hear from you. I feel like we truly got a behind the scenes look of what it looks like to do content strategy in the real world rather than just in a textbook. So, before we end, is there anything that you want to promote or let people know where they could find you on socials or just
Yeah. My LinkedIn is Nalia Jacinto. Um, yeah.
Thank you again for joining me, and for everybody who's watching right now. I see the comments. Hi. This has been a conversation on content strategy and learning how brands like Bodega Taqueria create engaging content. Make sure to follow both of us, and I'll be saving this live so you can watch it back later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.